Here, MD online editor, and this is not breaking news. You all knew yesterday that Iain Valliere had announced his retirement at the age of 32, almost 33, 8 weeks out from the Olympia that he was qualified for with a win at the Toronto Pro. He made a great video on his channel, just his name, Iain Valliere. If you haven't watched it, check it out. Talked about, it's not that he has any health problems or he's jaded or cynical. He just wasn't really feeling bodybuilding anymore. Didn't have that excitement, that passion to get up and do these things anymore. Didn't want to be 300 pounds all year. Didn't want to eat 6-7 times a day anymore. It's a grind. And I totally respect his decision. He's got his whole life ahead of him. And I want to recap his career because he actually had a very decent career for somebody that when he turned pro 10 years ago, I remember seeing the photo in I think it was like a Flex or Muscle, I think it was Flex magazine. He only got one picture. He qualified for his pro card by winning I think it was Olympia Amateur South America or something, or Central America. Maybe it was Mexico. It was somewhere, some Latin American country, and didn't have great competition. And I was not impressed. And I remember distinctly thinking, man, the standard for people turning pro now is shit. This guy's horrible. He's never going to do anything as a pro. I can't believe they gave this guy a pro card. He was much, much smaller then, much smaller. I think he turned pro at like 215, 220, if that. Nothing like what we see today. But he did go on to do very, very well. 2020, he won the New York Pro, which is considered the third biggest, toughest show in the sport after the Olympia and the Arnold. First Olympia that year, 7th place. That's pretty damn great. 2021, he knocked it out of the park in 2021. Back-to-back wins at the Tampa Pro, the Texas Pro, and then he finished out the year with second place at the Arnold Classic to Nick Walker, second place at the Arnold. I never thought this guy would get that far. 7th at the Olympia again, and he backslid a little bit last year at the Olympia. It happens to the best of us. But then he won the Toronto Pro, a show that he had always aspired to win. He really won everything he set out to. I think in his heart of hearts, he knew he was never going to be Mr. Olympia. How many people are Mr. Olympia? Kevin Ronnie, Flex Wheeler, Sean Ray. These guys were amazing, and they never won Olympia titles. Iain probably could have been top 5 eventually. He was 7th place twice, so 5th place was not really that much of a stretch beyond that. But he just wasn't really feeling that excitement anymore. He wasn't excited to get up and do the things you need to do every day to be a bodybuilder. And he recognized that even though he said he has no health problems now, he did realize that going down the line, if he continued being this big and heavy and doing the PEDs and everything, eventually there was a very strong chance he would develop some kind of health problems. Of what degree, we have no idea. But he got out while the getting's good. He retired at just 32, on top of his game, qualified for the Olympia. I know a lot of people are upset that he's not doing the Olympia that he had qualified for. That's a lot of guys wanted to get to the Olympia. They couldn't make it. They didn't get the qualification. He did, and now he's just sitting it out. He's retired. But you know what? If you're not 100% motivated to do all the things you need to do, train your ass off, all that cardio, low carbs, low calories, why would you push on and do the Olympia when you're really just not there anymore? So I really applaud Iain Valliere. I respect his decision, and he did it while he still has his whole life ahead of him. 32 years old is very young. He's got his whole life ahead. He's got other things. He says he looks forward to being able to run, to get down on the ground and play with his dogs, kids when he has them eventually. And these are things as a 300-pound bodybuilder, not so easy to do. It's hard to move around when you're that big. He also recognized, I feel, he didn't say this, but he knows what greatness is. He didn't have greatness. Greatness is Chris Bumstead. That's a genetic like 1 in a billion. I don't know, 1 in 100 million. He recognized that he wasn't going to be that great. He was very, very good, Iain. Don't get me wrong. Won all those pro shows, 2nd at the Arnold, 7th at the Olympia. But was he ever going to be like Mr. Olympia or superstar? He knew it wasn't in the cards. So there's probably other things he wants to get involved in, maybe coaching or God knows. I have no idea what he's interested in getting in, but he wants to downsize a little. Wants to live like a normal person where the bodybuilding lifestyle is very, very restrictive. You're confined to this very rigid schedule of eating every 2 hours from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep every damn day. Got to hit all the workouts, got to make sure you train as hard as possible, take all the supplements, using the PEDs. It's a lot. So if your heart's not in it anymore, why would you do it? So much respect. Let's see what you guys have to say. Let's go to the phones. It's Friday. Let's ask Ronnie. PRP, Schmo, how's the peeping? What? Dakika Woodard, you don't speak English very well. I'm sorry. Oh, boy. Wild hump, but good for him. Yeah, good for him. Exactly. That's what I say. How do bodybuilders get so big? Yeah, you need a basic primer course. It's a lot of training, a lot of food, and yeah, there's drugs involved. Iain couldn't fix that gap in his chest. You know, maybe he did see that his physique was starting to show some weird signs of wear and tear. He did have that gap in here where the chest insertions, there's a big gap in the middle. His lower lats had retracted. It seemed like he had corrected some of that at Toronto, but it was still noticeable. But, you know, was he going to keep beating his body up for what? Don't ask wrong. He's a peeper. What's a peeper? Dakika, do you even speak English? Too young, says myself. Well, you know, you could say that, but if he kept on doing this for another 10 years, he'd be 42. He's already been a pro for 10 years. 20 years being that big and eating all that food and using all those PEDs. It's not a good thing. It's not helping anybody's health. It certainly would have put him in a spot to do that well. Dakika, you need to be banned. Jan, how do we ban Peeper here? Get him off here. Because you're just annoying. You're just annoying, Dakika. You're just talking a bunch of nonsense. Self-review. Let's see, too young. If he can get off the juice early and live. Yeah, I mean, he'll live longer. You know, steroids are not harmless. Nobody that's using steroids in significant amounts for many years is going to live as long as they were going to. You know, there's no way to calculate how much time off your lifespan you took off, but it's very safe to say you are taking some years off your life. I mean, I'm even at the level I've been using PEDs, I'm sure I've taken some years off my life. There's no question. 212 Dakika. Yeah, Jen, can we ban this Dakika guy, please? Reginald Denny. Raymond Jones, why didn't he retire on the bodybuilding stage when he's already qualified? Because he wasn't feeling it. And if you're, you know, the Mr. Olympia, you have to be all in. You have to be like super highly motivated. It's the toughest show in the world. You know, he's up against Hadi and Derek Lunsford and Samson and Andrew Jack and Nick Walker. You're going up against those guys. You have to be on your A game. Every day of prep has to be 100%. You can't do anything wrong. You have to be, you know, laser focused. And he just wasn't feeling it anymore. He didn't have that drive and passion anymore. He just didn't want to do it anymore. And in that case, no matter what, I've talked to guys who were great at other sports, you know, growing up, kids that were really good at football or baseball, whatever, but at some point, they just didn't enjoy it anymore. And if you don't enjoy what you're doing, if you don't look forward to getting up every day and doing all the practices and all the things it takes to be at the top of a sport, it's time to go, because you need that. You know, the mind controls the body. If the mind is not really there anymore, if you don't have that drive anymore, it's time to go. No triceps, says Reginald Denny. Well, he didn't have the greatest triceps. We want you to bring Kamal in live. Well, we had a whole hour interview with Kamal Algarnia on MD Global Muscle. That's on this channel. It just premiered Wednesday, 2 days ago. So go check that out. Giles Thomas did a great interview with Kamal, like an hour long. So go check that out. So no, I'm not bringing Kamal on live. Dakika. Dakika says, I don't have the genetics to even compete. You don't know anything about me. I competed for 24 years. I took top 5 at national level pro qualifiers several times. I won overalls in the NPC. I competed for many years, and I did pretty well. I didn't do great. No, I didn't have the genetics to be a great pro or anything, but no, I competed and I did okay. Jen, I should have told Jen so she could get rid of this guy. Oh well. Dakika, I will not address you anymore. Nor Ega, sorry for the off-topic question. Can bodybuilding get shredded with carbs? It's calories in, calories out. Yeah, we're not talking about that right now. Emperor himself, I have high body fat. Yeah, we're not talking about training and stuff right now. Maybe later. Let's see. We're talking about Iain Valliere right now. We're not talking about diet and stuff. But I do believe calories in, calories out. I always had carbs. I always had carbs with my diets. I never went zero carbs, and I got in great condition many times. Emperor himself, high body fat. You should focus on cardio and weights. You should do both. Yeah, Reginald Denny says he wants to have kids. I think it's the best decision he will ever make. Yeah. Because, you know, you want to wake up when you're like 40, 45 and say, man, I wanted to have kids and now I'm going to be, you know, 60, 65 when these kids are graduating high school because I waited too long. No, he wants to do it now. You don't want to wait too long to have kids because then you're going to be that grandpa looking dude walking around with the baby carriage, the stroller. The gap, Mass Riccio says the gap in the chest was the final straw. He doing the right thing. Raymond Jones says plenty of active bodybuilders have kids. Brett Wilkin, Blessing, Sean Correa, Derek Lancer. Yeah, he wasn't saying that was, Ian never said that was the main reason he was getting out of bodybuilding. He could certainly have kids and continue bodybuilding. He honestly just didn't have the drive and the passion. He wasn't excited about being a bodybuilder anymore. He just wasn't feeling it. If you're not feeling it, why continue? For what? You can't just do it for the fans. You know, we say this all the time. You have to do what's right for you. You have to do you. What's right for you, not what's right for your sponsor, your fans, whatever. Because at the end of the day, it's your life. You're the one that's in control. You know, no one else really cares about these guys. If they live or die, everyone just moves on to the next guy to follow. Let's see. Good choice is myself. Some can't have kids either on juice, always exceptions. I don't know what the hell that means. I said Germany won against U.S. in FIBA basketball somehow. Oh, I don't follow that. Raymond Jones, how's the quad, Ron? It's in a lot of pain. And I don't want to be that hero. I don't want to lie to you guys and say, no, it's fine. It's not fine. It hurts a lot. Pain medication doesn't do much. They only gave me, I had to call my doctor yesterday and up the OxyContin from 5 milligram tabs to 10 because the 5 milligram tabs of OxyContin, which is a very highly addictive opiate, they weren't doing anything for me. The pain was not any less. So I'm on Tylenol, I'm on a little bit of OxyContin, and he gave me something else. It's like a sedative that I'm only supposed to take 3 times a day. So, you know, I'm trying not to move around too much. Problem is my house is on 4 levels. It's not a huge house, but it's got 4 floors. The bottom floor is the finished basement with the TV and the big sofa and my recliner, which actually comes in handy because it's got that footrest thing that you push the button, it goes zzz. So I stand in front of that and it like lifts my leg up and I can just sort of scoot back on it. So that's been. Second floor is the kitchen and the living room. Spend a lot of time in the kitchen eating, I have to. There's a bathroom downstairs in the finished basement. Third floor is a couple bedrooms and our main bathroom that I shower in and all that. Haven't been able to take a shower in a couple days. And the very top floor is this room, my office, and my bedroom over there. So I do have to go up and downstairs. I'm being careful. Reginald Denny, Brett qualified early to have a kid and lay off juice for a couple months. Yeah, and he's got a beautiful child, Brett and Ivana. That worked out very well for him. Yeah, Ian never said he was retiring just to have kids. I mean, obviously he could have kids. He just, you know, there's a lot of things that went into his decision. I'm sure it was not an easy decision for Ian to make, especially where he's 8 weeks out from the biggest show in the world that everybody aspires. You know, most bodybuilders, most pros never make it to the Olympia stage. Never. You know, this would have been his 4th Olympia. How would he have done? We don't know. Who knows? He took 7th place twice. Top 7 twice at the Olympia. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's so much better than most pros could ever aspire to. When you think of there's like thousands of pros now. There's at least hundreds and hundreds of open bodybuilder pros, at least. You know, they crank out pros these days. Takika just want to be famous. Yeah, I guess. It's not working, Takika. Reginald Denny says carbs are great. Yeah. Will he do the last Mr. O, Randy? No. He's done. He's pulling out. I don't even know if he was in prep for it, or I don't know when he made this decision, or if he stopped his prep like weeks ago. But it's 8 weeks. We're 8 weeks off the Olympia now, and he's not doing it. So, yeah, I mean, because like I said, if your heart is not 100% into bodybuilding and prep and all that, any of you who have dieted down to that low of body fat where your face is caved in and your glutes are striated, you know. It's miserable. You have to suffer. I don't care how many drugs you're on. You still need to suffer to get into that condition. It takes low calories, low carbs, a lot of cardio. And who's going to do that if they're not really that motivated to do it? You can't. You have to be like tunnel vision. You have to really want it. And Ian just doesn't. He admits it. He doesn't really want it anymore. He doesn't want to do it. It would have been competitive in the top 5 anyway. No, but you know, I don't think he was not going to be top 5 this year, but it doesn't matter. He probably would have been top 10. I think he would have been top 10. Sorry about the sweat. It's freaking hot up. This is the one level in my house that the air conditioning doesn't reach, the top floor. Every other floor is like 20 degrees cooler than this. Paul Herbal says, yeah, I really respect Iain for his decision. He seems so excited. Yeah, he's got a great attitude about it. He's very eager to do other things. And I don't know what those things are, but he did everything he set out to do in bodybuilding. Like I said, he was never going to be Mr. Olympia. He knows that. Maybe he would have won the Arnold Classic. Maybe not. That year he took second to Nick Walker. Second at the Arnold's great. It's great. But, you know, he got out while the getting was good. He still has his health. He's still young. He's got his wife. He's got his whole life ahead of him. This is better than somebody retiring at like 45 and they never accomplished what they wanted to in bodybuilding and their health is failing. And there's so many guys in that situation. You know, he's not going to be one of them. So good for him, man. Good for him. A lot of shows he won were questionable. Well, the problem is this is a subjective sport. So most wins are questionable. I really haven't been to too many shows where everyone was in agreement with the winner, because a lot of times you'll have two guys with different types of physiques and they're both worthy of winning. They both have great strong points of their own, weak points of their own, but you can't have a tie. Somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose. The Toronto win, people were talking crap because it was in Toronto. He's from Canada. I don't know if that Paul guy was a judge that he does the bro chat with, Luzon. I don't know. But yeah, they were saying the fix was in, but he looked damn good. Once, you know, I was watching the stream, and the stream was not good quality. Sorry, Ron and the promoters. That stream was not good, the Toronto one. When I saw the high-resolution pictures, I saw that Iain was in excellent condition. Way better than I thought looking at that stream, the webcast. Do we say webcast anymore? Trailblazer, he is best top 10 at the Olympia. Well, he's been 7th twice. And that's pretty damn good. 7th place at the Olympia. That's 7th in the world. And those were good Olympias. Those were, let's see, when he was 20 Olympia, who was that? Was that Curry? No. Who was before Rami? So it was Roden, Curry, and it was Rami, right? For 2 years, 20 and 21, yeah. So Rami won both years that he took 7th were years that Rami won, big Rami. Let's see, a lot of shows he was questionable. This guy is hilarious. Are these terms from India, Diki? I don't even know what these terms are. I don't know what language you're using here. Noor Ega, I think he knew he did not stand a chance against the other pros. No, he did. He won a bunch of pro shows. It's not like he was a bad pro. He won 1, 2, 3, 4 pro shows. 2nd at the Arnold, 7th Olympia. That's a very good pro. That's a very good pro. We talk about only the top 5 at the Olympia, but there's still another 10 guys that I would consider damn good pros. Top 10 at the Olympia is excellent. How many guys make top 10 at the Olympia? If you saw the list of all the guys who have pro cards, I guarantee half of them you'd be like, who the hell's that? I don't even know who that is. Because either they never compete or they compete in terrible shows and they do terribly. You know, Iain was not that. Iain was a very good pro. He wasn't a great pro like a Samson or an Andrew Jacked where everyone's like, oh my God, future Mr. Olympia. But he was very, very good. He held his own. He was always consistently in shape. And he held his own against these guys. It's not like he was like totally outmastered or anything or out-conditioned. Neo-Sun King. Iain made the right move. Muscle atrophies were piling up. Young guys coming in are another level. Derek, Samson. Well, actually, these guys you're talking about are older than him. Samson's older than him. Andrew's older than him. Krizo, I think, is about the same age. Maybe a little younger. Lunsford's definitely younger. Best of luck in all his future endeavors. Yeah. Like I said, he got out when he was young, which is very rare. You know, Lee Haney retired at 32. With 8 Olympia wins. We're never going to see that again. Dorian, when he retired, I believe Dorian was only like 33 with 6 Olympia wins. He was still a young guy. Reginald Denny, Iain would have been 9th through 12th this year. I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter. New pros are a lot better now. Gamba Raising, at least he retired on a high note and won his last competition. Yeah. And it was a show that he'd always aspired to win because, you know, if you're from Toronto, as he was from the Toronto area, that's a show I think he grew up watching and wanting to win. He probably attended it many times and said, man, I'd love to win in front of my hometown crowd and nice Canadian title. And he got it. Didn't he? Well, he didn't win Vancouver. But I mean, he's from the Toronto area anyway. Vancouver's the other end, the other side of the country. Let's see. Perfect. You're looking on my apartment. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. That's horrible. Trailblazer 82. Samson. Oh, this is a prediction. Samson, Andrew, Crizo are too much for Iain. Oh, geez. Emperor himself. I want to see Iain one last time at the Olympia. Yeah, it would have been nice, but if he's not feeling it, no. Trailblazer 82. The crazy part is Andrew is way older than Iain. He is, what's he, 38? But he's only been a pro since March of 2022. So he's young in the sport. He doesn't have that many contests under his belt. He's already got 3 pro wins. He's already, what was he at the Olympia? 7th? 6th? 7th. No, I saw he was 8th at the Olympia and he was sick. He wasn't even feeling good. He was really sick. I remember talking to him at the meet and greet last year, and like he had COVID or something. He did not look good. He didn't sound good. And he still did the show. Is Sebum next? Nah, I don't know. I don't know how many Olympias Sebum wants to win, but he's on top of his game. You know, Sebum, when he wants to retire, he'll do it. He's accomplished. He's already got 4 Olympia wins. He's only 28 years old. I'm assuming he's going to get another one. That'll be 5 Olympia wins. You know, that's already, no one's won Classic Physique Olympia more than twice before him. We had Danny Hester was the first winner. And then Breon Ansley won it twice. And then it's been Chris ever since then. He could be an online coach. MVP, he could be an online coach and make great money. Yeah, I mean, he was Bumstead's coach up until last year. He guided Chris to his pro card, to his first 3 Olympia wins. He's coached, I'm sure he's coached other people, and he could be an excellent coach. He's a very smart guy if you listen to him, very well educated. I'm sure if coaching is what he wants to get into, he'll do very well at it. And you know, when you're not competing anymore, and you're not worried about eating every 2 hours, you're a better coach because you put your clients first, and you're not worried about your workout and your meals and your cardio and you're getting ready for your contest. You're a much better coach, I believe, if you're not a competitor yourself, at least presently, because then you can really devote. Because when these guys, I've seen guys like Hani and Cito at these shows, they don't sleep most of the weekend. They barely eat. They're going back and forth to their client's room, checking up on them, making adjustments with their meals and things like that. And, you know, it's hard to do that when you're worried about your meals and your sleep. You can't really do both. You can only give all your attention to either. You can't divide your attention like that. Let's see, Masricio. Be interesting to see. Did I go past it? Where we can grind. Hang on. I went way too far down. Masricio. Be interesting to see how much size he loses when he comes off all the gear. Will be normal looking again. I don't think he'll be normal looking. He'll be very athletic and muscular, just not 300 pounds. Like, take a look at Dennis Wolf. Dennis Wolf is definitely not on a ton of gear anymore. He's nowhere near as big as he was, but he's not a small guy. He's still very muscular, rugged, athletic looking. You would never look at him and say, oh, what a small guy. No, he's not. He's still bigger than most guys who juice their skulls out. And I think that's going to be Iain. He'll probably drop down 240 or something, 230. Like I remember Justin Compton a few years back, he downsized and he was still pretty damn big compared to the average person. Nothing like he was before, but these guys, when they're that huge and they downsize, they're a lot smaller than they were, but they're still very big human beings compared to the average guy in the gym for sure. Emperor himself, do you think it's the end of an era? No. We have all these other guys. I mean, Iain will be missed, but we have all these other guys that are still at it. Our stuff says, I wonder if Iain got through legal troubles. I wish him the best though. Yeah, I think that was all taken care of a couple of years ago. I haven't heard any repercussions from that. Or else we would have heard about it. If anything happens in the sport with people having legal troubles, it seems like we hear about it pretty fast because court documents are public record. Anybody can look them up. Just pay a couple dollars online or something. You can access all those records. So if anything else had happened, we would know about it. I'm pretty sure everything. Let's see. Trailblazer 82 says he's going to lose a lot of weight for sure when he comes off everything. Go from 260 to 190, 200. No, he's not going to lose that much. I mean, because I've seen so many guys, they don't go back to the size they were. People say you lose everything that you gained on steroids. You don't lose everything. You lose a substantial amount of it, but you don't lose everything. So 2 guys, one's natural for life, trains for 20 years, gets to, I don't know, I'm going to use something. Say some guy's natural for life, he trains for 10 years naturally, he gets to 220 at 10% body fat. Okay, another guy, 10 years on juice, gets to 300 pounds at 10% body fat. when he goes off, he'll probably come down to like 240. He's not going to come down to the same size as the natural guy because you don't lose all that muscle. You lose part of it. It's different for everybody, but you don't lose all of it. That's a myth. That's a myth. I know it makes the natty guys mad because they want you to lose everything because it's not fair that you got to have all that extra muscle and you get to keep some of it. But unfortunately, that's just the reality of the human physiology. Some people keep more than others, but nobody loses all their muscle unless they stop training and stop eating all that food. If you stop training, you will lose all the muscle. If you keep training and keep feeding yourself multiple times a day, you're not going to lose all the muscle. You'll lose a lot of it. You're not going to lose. You're not going to lose. See, on TRT, he'll be fine. Yeah. Raymond Jones, who is the new best Canadian Open bodybuilder? I guess Regan. Is Regan new? Regan's not new. Maybe Robin Strand is a newer guy. Robin Strand. Yeah, let's give it to Robin. Looked really good at New York Pro, and what did he do, the Cali Pro or something? He did another show after that. Yeah, I wouldn't say Regan's new. Regan's been a pro for 6 or 7 years already, right? So I wouldn't put him in that category. Paul is a judge, yeah, I know. Oh, Quentin. Yeah, Quentin will eventually be the best Canadian. Yeah, Quentin Uria. What's his nickname, Quentin? Quentin Beastwood. Very, very good. We haven't seen him compete all year. I'm not sure when he's competing again, but Quentin is very good. Nigerian ancestry. It certainly seems to help. Yeah, that's whatever they were doing with the genetics over in Nigeria. The traits they were passing on from generation to generation. A lot of them seem to be super muscular. Samson or Hodo? Your choice. Who's Hodo? Hodo. Oh, Hidi? You mean Hadi? His name is Hadi Chupan. He's Mr. Olympia. Hodor was from Game of Thrones. No. Hadi or I'd go with Samson, but I think, we're it's kind of early to make Olympia predictions, but I think it's very likely Derek or Samson is going to win. Hadi could win again. Hadi could certainly win again. It's going to be a very, very tough Olympia. Very tough Olympia. Andrew Jack is going to be in the mix this year. You can't count Andrew out. He's going to be a top 5 guy this year. What about Regan Grimes? I'm very eager to see Regan Sunday competing at that Flex Pro weekend in Milan, Italy. He's improved tremendously. He's definitely one of the best Canadian bodybuilders. I wouldn't put him in the category of new because, he won the 2018 New York Pro in Classic. He won the 2020 Prague. He's been around a few years. That's why I wouldn't say he's a new Canadian bodybuilder. Do you think this will be the new trend with bodybuilders retiring early? No. Trailblazers, the writing on the wall that Chris Bumstead might retire early with also being connected to Ian. No, Chris talks about it all the time. He's got a YouTube channel with 3 million subscribers, so you probably have seen his videos. When he decides he doesn't want to do it anymore, or if there's ever any health, he ever sees anything in his blood work that really worries him, he's done. He's out because his health is much more important to him. He wants to have a life after bodybuilding with no health problems. He's already got that Berger's disease. It's a kidney condition. It's genetic. He doesn't want any health problems. So whenever Chris, if he ever sees anything, any damage being done to his body and any risk to his long-term health and longevity, he's out. But for the time being, I haven't heard anything like that. Neo-san, King, Ian was in training a couple weeks ago with Mike Van Wyck as part of the Olympia prep. Something happened there during that trip with Fuad's crew, made Ian make the final call to retire. Interesting. He sucked. So tired of non-calf having bodybuilders. Wow. I mean, there's a lot of bodybuilders without calves, but I'll tell you, men's physique is where I see a lot of guys with zero calf development, like sticks. And they got them, and their quads are covered. The quads and hams are covered. All we're seeing of the lower body is the calf. And a lot of these men's physique guys have sticks for calves. It's very upsetting to me. It is a body part that you have to have some genetic component for. If your calves are super high, meaning if they insert very high, and you have long tendon attachments, you can't build any muscle there. There is no muscle. There's no muscle cells. It's just a tendon. It's your Achilles tendon. So, yeah. Regan right now. Sure. Greg Ulysse. Oh, did I go past you? Yeah, there you go. Greg Ulysse over in Montreal. He says he made a great decision. He got out at the right time. He had a wonderful career and was able to live the bodybuilding life to the fullest. Yeah, Greg, I mean, you got out really young. You got out pretty early. Before you did any damage, for sure. Raymond Jones, only Lee Haney, Kai Green, and Ian retired at their best. Yeah, Kai got out, 2016 was Kai's last show. So that was 7 years ago. And if we think he's 48 or 49, he got out around age 40, 41, something like that. Yeah, no one's really sure how old Kai is. Trailblazer. I think we won't see any new pros do it like Dexter Jackson, stay in the game for 20 years plus. Dexter was an anomaly in so many ways. You know, it's kind of crazy that anyone compares anyone else. Comparing any bodybuilder to Dexter Jackson, I'm going to use a Kill Bill line. It's like comparing any other sword to Hattori Hanzo's sword. You can't compare them. They're just different, totally different levels. Dexter was someone who was able to compete at a very high level for many, many years. Didn't have any major injuries. Didn't have any loose skin, muscle tears. Didn't get like a big bubble gut. We weren't seeing that palumboism where the midsection was getting wider and thicker and the limbs were shrinking. None of that. He went out pretty close to his best. He wasn't his best, but he was still very, very good. I mean, he was still winning shows. He still won the Tampa Pro that year. Hola, chico, says Puber. Okay. Sibo is next. What's up, Ron? Hey, Brandon. Nanny Rasilboyo. Ronnie, you bulking now? What's your daily routine? No, I'm not. I don't bulk anymore. I stay lean. If you can tell, I'm pretty lean. I don't eat a ton. I eat enough to maintain, I don't know, like 10% body fat or less. I keep my body weight between 215 and 220 most of the time. 220 if I'm not being super careful and eating super clean. But I got it down to like 213, 214 at a couple points over the summer and got pretty lean. But yeah, I eat 5 solid meals and a shake every day. Eggs and oatmeal. Whey protein and some cereal. Chicken and rice. Turkey cheeseburger on potato bread bun with an apple. Ground turkey with salsa chips. Tortilla chips and some salsa. And then the last meal is either salmon or a little bit of red meat with some vegetables. That's how I eat every day. Original Denny, Mike Van Wyck training is terrible for an open bodybuilder. All those dumb little adjustments every rep for basic movements. Yeah, he's a very smart guy, but I do think it is kind of overly complicated for beginners to try to make all these little tweaks. And, you know, same thing with Joe, the hypertrophy coach in Florida. Incredibly intelligent guy, very sophisticated in terms of the body mechanics that he's advising you to use and little tweaks, angles and this and that, but it's very confusing. I think for beginners, they need to keep it a lot more basic than that. Let's see, Trailblazer. I think fan base is divided on Iain because some of his viewpoint on different topics in bodybuilders. Yeah, Iain was never shy. He would make critiques on bodybuilders if he felt somebody was lacking about, and you know that's what I have to do too. That's my job, is to be a critic. I have to analyze physiques and sort of, you know, point out strong points, weak points, explain why I think this guy won, this guy got second, third, and we do preview shows. What are the strong points on this guy? What are the weak points? Things like that. And Iain was always very outspoken. He didn't hold back on his opinions. Some people love that. Some people hate that. When you do express your genuine opinions sincerely, without holding back, a lot of people are not going to like that. A lot of people will appreciate that, but a lot of people are not going to like that because they get butthurt, especially if they're the target. If you're talking about them, they're not going to be too happy about that. I think Famous Neos and King. Thanks, Ronnie. You're going to do periodic live updates for Italy Flex Pro. I'm going to do one wrap up when it's all over. So that'll probably be around, I don't know, like 1 p.m. Eastern, I'm guessing. So the show starts 10:30 on Sunday, my time. It's 4:30 p.m. in Milan, Italy, assuming they start on time. I think they have men's physique, bikini first, then open. I'm only going to report on open because, yeah, I mean, what a show that's. We did a preview. It's up on this channel now, but Nathan Dasher, Regan Grimes, Blessing Awodi Booth, Theo Leguerre, Roman Fritz, Liang Yan from China is great. Andrea Muzzi, Tim Budesheim. It's a great lineup. It should be a really, really good show. Looking forward to watching it. Dexter still looks good downsized. Yeah. Dexter's someone he downsized a lot, but he still looks very athletic. He's still bigger than most of these guys that talk crap and say, oh, these pros are going to look like nothing. These pros, when they downsize and lose all that muscle, they're still way bigger than the people talking shit about them. I need to shave, jeez. How many pro wins does it take to be considered a good and great bodybuilder? I think Dexter set the bar high. Well, Dexter had the all-time wins. It's 29. I think he had 29 pro wins, and he won the Arnold 5 times. He won the Olympia. I think Dexter definitely has the best overall record. Obviously, Ronnie Coleman and Lee Haney have the best Olympia records with 8 each, but best overall record, I think you got to give it to Dexter because he won an Olympia, he won 5 Arnold Classics, and he won 29 pro shows, more than anybody else in history. Let's see. Trailblazer, Regan versus Blessing at their best, 2 wins. Let's see. The only concern I have with Blessing is he's got into great condition. He hired this Courtney Cheek guy who I believe works with Matt Jansen. It said Team Jansen on his Instagram bio. I'm concerned about his legs. I think it looks to me like he might have had to really push the cardio hard to get the fat off. And in doing so, usually when you get really lean and you lose something, it's usually your worst body part. And Blessing's legs have always been his least impressive body part compared to everything else. He's got monstrous shoulders, back, chest, arms. Legs have never been awesome. They're good. They just don't match that crazy upper body that he has. Regan Blessing bet 5K for this weekend. Who'll win? Yeah, somebody's got to pay up. I am in a sauna, Evan. I'll tell you this. If I go one level down in my house, the air conditioning is fine, and it's like 20 degrees. Like I can tell you exactly how hot it is. This fan of mine it's 81 degrees in here. Can you hear the fan going? But I can't have the fan on because then you'll hear the fan. So it's all for you guys. I can't have you having to listen to that fan the whole time I'm doing this. Just watched Derek's latest video. Holy smokes, he's ahead of Nick for sure. Yeah, Derek looks great. Nick looks great. Derek Lunsford looks just crazy right now. Although, 8 weeks out, it doesn't matter what they look like now. We got 2 months to go. There's still 8 weeks left. But Derek's looking tough, man. Tough to beat. I says, his body's shutting down from all the drugs and meaning he has no muscle separation. Not like he would be able to compete against anybody. He won a pro show this year. He can't be doing that bad. Ron, what's your favorite Muscle Tech supplement? Well, if you go by favorite, the one I use the most is Nitrotech, the whey protein. I use that post-workout. I have that in my coffee. I have that as when I don't go to the gym, like past few days I've been going to the gym. One of my meals is a bowl of cornflakes, and I use the vanilla ice cream Muscle Tech shake as the milk. It's delicious. Guys don't want me getting dehydrated, do you? Okay. Trailblazer, Ron, have you been to the gym and seen a guy with excellent genetics you thought could be future Mr. Olympia but aren't into bodybuilding? I don't know about future Mr. Olympia, but I've certainly seen guys with pro potential. Guys who are at least good enough to turn pro sooner or later, and they just had no interest, or, I would talk to some of them, point out their potential, encourage them to compete. Sometimes they would do like one show and they'd blow it away. They'd win easily just because they were genetic freaks. And they were like, I don't want to do this anymore. They didn't enjoy it. They had no interest. And you have to be. And it's funny because a lot of the guys who have lesser genetics, they're the ones who are like super dedicated and super motivated and really love bodybuilding and really want to turn pro and be Mr. Olympia, but they don't have the genetics for it. And a lot of times you do see some of these guys with crazy good genetics. They just could care less. They're not interested. Especially when you tell them competing, they're like, I'm not going to get up there in my freaking underwear or a thong. I don't want to do that. And you can't make somebody want to do that. Algonac, the fans that don't support this never compete on a high level and never hit gear like that. You're naive if you don't think open bodybuilding will not shorten your life. Oh, 100% it will. 100%. MVP, Kai got out, but he's still in a lot of gear. He's the same size since the last show. He is still about as big as he ever was. You're right. Trailblazer, why does it seem like as you get older, your torso gets wider? Thank you. And your arms and legs get skinny. I'm starting to look like the Beast Titan off Attack of Titans. It's so true, Trailblazer. I see it in my own body. And, people say, why don't you compete again? And that's why. I hit certain poses and like the taper's not like it used to be. The waist got wider. Arms, they were never great. They're not even as good as they used to be. Legs, they were pretty damn great. They're not as good as they used to be. But you're so right. As you get older, there's something that happens. And I wish I knew there has to be a scientific, medical reason for it. But you see this in so many older bodybuilders where the torso gets wider, the waist, the midsection gets thicker, and the arms and legs get smaller. I don't know why, but That is a very real thing. It's not, you're not imagining that. Next level visionary. Wow, we got a lot of comments today, geez. Next level visionary. How do you like coverage in this day and age compared to the past? I feel bodybuilding is so exciting because we have a lot more photographers and videographers covering the all-around story of the athlete. Well, you have so much. First of all, contest coverage is instantaneous now. That's something we never would have dreamed of. So I'm trying to shift my leg. Oh, it's on the ground straight out in front of me. It's trying to get comfortable. Yeah, we used to have to wait 4 to 6 weeks to see pictures from the contest in the magazines. I remember calling up gyms the next day, Sunday morning after a show. Hey, what was the top 10 at the Olympia? What was the top 10 at the Arnold Classic? That was how we got our information. There was no internet. Now everything's like instant. Plus, everyone's got their own Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever. You have so much insight and access into the lives and the daily training, and you see everything they eat every day. We didn't have any of that. It was magazine articles, and a lot of them probably weren't even entirely accurate, saying what these guys were doing. Yeah. So I think in that aspect, we're so much better off now. You have a lot more access. Paul Herbal, I'm so hyped about this Italy show, really stacked. Yeah, Regan, I really want to see how Regan looks. And Nathan's looking crazy right now. Regan, Nathan, Blessing, and then it's really close between 5, 6 other guys. Alon Powers, Blessing is bow-legged. Oh, no. Wow. Oh, well, Trailblazer, I remember the old Nitro Tech. That was some good shit. Yeah, Nitro Tech wasn't whey protein before, was it? Wasn't it something else? I don't know. God, they've been around forever. Trailblazer, did they make changes to the amount of competitors at the Olympia? Last year was way too many competitors on stage. Well, they can't because it goes by anybody that wins a pro show. First of all, the top 5 from last year, they're automatically qualified. Everybody else has to win a show. So anybody that wins any open men's bodybuilding pro show this year, all the way up until Legion Sports in early October, they're qualified to the Olympia. We thought the point system was responsible for getting too many people on the show. It turns out only 2 people in every division were getting to the Olympia on points. So it wasn't the point system. It was the fact that there are so many more contests now. Men's Classic Physique had 60 guys in it. Bikini had like 70. Men's Physique had like 70 because there's so many of those shows. Bikini. Did I already say bikini? Yeah. Tastes like shit, bro. Celtic was away. Nitro Tech pills. Yeah, Nitro Tech pills was like a nitric oxide booster, wasn't it? Scott Hagen, what's up? Scott beat me in 2005. How dare you? Scott Hollywood Hagen says, hey, Ron, you had some sick wheels. I hope your knee heals quickly. Enjoy your video. Yeah, I tore the quad off. They put it back onto the bone, drilled some holes, sutured it up Tuesday. Hurts like a mother. I'm not going to lie. Walking is just, I'm trying to keep all my weight on the good leg, the left leg, but I still have to go up and down all these stairs because my house has 4 levels. I'm not saying I love my house, but yeah, this is the one time I wish I had a 1-level house and I could just crutch. I have crutches. I'm keeping them for now just on the lower level in the finished basement to go back and forth. But yeah, if the house is all 1 level, I could just crutch everywhere, right? Move around on crutches. Get well soon. Thank you, Raymond. Alone Powers, wish you speedy recovery. Thank you. Ron, have you tried Superdrol before? No, it's one thing I never tried, but I tried everything else. I did Dianabol, Anadrol, Tren, Equipoise, growth hormone. Growth hormone was more recent. I tried everything else. I think Superdrol, it's very potent oral. Does it come in pills or a solution? But yeah, I don't think there's anything magical about it. Just like there's nothing magical about Tren, it's just very powerful. It's not like magic. You'll be back soon. I'll be back soon. I just want to walk and drive a car. I don't even care about leg training. If I never train my legs heavy again, honest to God, at this point, because they say you don't appreciate anything until you lose it. Don't know what you got till it's gone. I can't drive a car for a couple months. I can't walk. If I want to go anywhere, my son or my wife has to drive me, and it's getting in and out of the car is not easy. I don't know how these guys who tore up 2 quads at once manage, Jesus. But yeah, I just want to walk and drive. If I can walk and drive normally, I'm going to be a very happy camper. When that day comes, I'll kiss the ground. Thoughts on Ozempic? I see it everywhere. It works, but it's, I'm sure it has a lot of long-term risks that nobody's even aware of. I think they rushed it to market. It's a good way for people to lose fat real fast because it just kills your appetite. It's just an appetite suppressant as far as I understand. Physique 11, I think Andrew Jack is a real open but still classic bodybuilder if they would go for aesthetics. Andrew Jack has to win. Lunsford is great, but looks like a balloon because he's so small but big. Yeah, Andrew has a different quality to his physique just because he is so tall and wide. With that stature and that width, it's a very impressive. Your eyes are drawn to it. Like I remember when he came out at his pro debut in Texas last year, it was just like, wow. Immediately he came out and you couldn't help but stare at him like, wow, what is that? Because he's 6'2", his shoulders are out to here, his upper back and quads, and he just looked phenomenal. Arms, little waist. He's definitely in his own category. Nobody looks like Andrew. Michael Edwards, Superdraw was like halo testing, increased strength and some muscle gain. Yeah, halo testing. Stay positive, bro. Will you be at the Olympia? I have to be at the Olympia, so I better heal quick. I have to be there. I'm the online editor. I'm in charge of all the contest coverage. I have to be at the Olympia, so I need to heal quick. I'm taking BPC 157 every day, 2.5 units of growth hormone every morning. I'm going to do everything in my power to heal quick. I'm not going to rush training at all. I'm going to do all the physical therapy, everything by the book. I'm going to heal as fast as I can because I got to get to Olympia. I have to. What year was Kevin Levroni's best? He looked great to me. Best condition was probably his first Olympia, 92. He was a lot bigger after that. Yeah. Would you prefer Samson or Andrew? Don't really. I don't have a preference. I think they both look great. They both have different physiques. Who's better, Roden or Andrew Jacked? Roden had a little better balance. Andrew still needs to bring up his hamstrings, his glutes, and his back, but when he does, he's going to be right there. Doesn't DECA help with joints and tendons? Yeah, I'm getting some of that soon too. I had some a few months ago. I ran out. Didn't know I would need it. How do you tear your quad? Squats? No, I was walking my dog. It's another live video on this channel, so I don't have to bore everybody. MVP. If you go back on this channel, I did a video on last Tuesday when I did it. I'm sorry, Monday? When did I do it? Was it Labor Day? No. I did it, anyway, there's a video called I Tore My Quad Today, and it explains everything. I was walking my dog and I slipped and fell, and it was like the 30th or 40th time I had slipped and caught my weight on that knee, and that was like the last straw. The tendon just came right the hell off. Physique 11, just want to say thank you for all the episode with Dr. T. You really helped me. Cool, thank you. Glad you liked that show. Michael Edwards, 92 Levroni was epic. Yeah, that was his debut. Scott Hagen, you sound very motivated. You'll heal quickly. I've heard great results of BPC. Yeah, I'm really hoping it works. The reviewer, I think 99 Grand Prix Levroni was the best for you in 2000. Yeah, a lot of people like that Grand Prix. The British Grand Prix in 99. Giles always talks about that show because I think he was there. Yeah, he was there. Trailblazer, seems like most bodybuilders get hurt outside the gym. Well, yeah. When Branch Warren tore his quad, it was the same thing. He slipped on wet pavement, just like me. Same thing happened to Evan Sinapani. I think he slipped on an icy sidewalk or a wet sidewalk. Wasn't in the gym. A lot of these things, it's because I think our tendons are kind of weakened anyway. So then when you put all that stress on them instantaneously like that, when it's trying to break a fall and all your body weight is on like one knee or something, and that tendon has to bear not only your 220 or 240, whatever pounds you weigh, but the force of you falling amplifies your weight. That's physics, which I didn't do too well in back in school, but I know. So maybe like 200 pounds becomes like 1,000 pounds of force on that tendon in that instant. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up, guys. I think I've been yapping long enough. Appreciate all the questions. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Knees starting to throb, so I have to sort of switch positions and get out of this room and maybe elevate it or something. But appreciate all the kind words, all you guys who have reached out on DMs and everything, asking how I'm doing. I appreciate it very much. It's good to know that so many people care. So thank you guys very, very much. Yeah. So that's it, man. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Please like, share, do all that good stuff, and put your notifications on. Sunday, I will be going live. Sunday, probably early afternoon, with the results of the Flex Pro weekend in Milan, Italy. Will it be Regan? Will it be Nathan? Will it be Blessing? Or somebody else? We're going to find out in a couple days. So that's it, guys. Appreciate it. Have an awesome weekend. Bye-bye.